The wave count is the roadmap. The confirmation is the trade. Most beginners lose money because they only learn the first half. So now let's take a look at something very important. That is, of course, how do we actually trade using, Elliott waves as a beginner? And here, the main principle here is that we want to use Elliott wave to confirm an idea you already have. So what I recommend, especially for beginners, is to not blindly try to follow the waves. For example, let's say that you draw out a wave right here and you have found a valid count. So you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say that we are now, of course, expecting the correction, the A, B, C correction. What I highly recommend is that you don't rely only on Elliott wave. So for example, it's much better if you, let's say that we find a divergence between the highs here. So let's say that we have a MACD indicator where we have the MACD goes in the opposite direction. So let's say we have a bearish divergence, and if this happens at the high of a motive wave, that makes it much more likely that this is a valid sell signal and a potential to go short. And of course, it becomes even more significant. Let's say that right here, let's say that we find a bearish chart pattern, for example, a shooting star. That makes the analysis even more important. So what I highly recommend, especially if you are a beginner, that yes, use Elliott wave, but use it together with other signals like price action, like general market structure principles, and you can also use indicators like the MACD and RSI. But here, some general things. You want to build a valid wave count that respects all 5 rules. If you don't remember the rules, rewatch that part. That is one of the most important part of this course. Remember, the rules are more like laws. They need to be respected. What you can also do, but this is more advanced, is to stack both vertical and horizontal Fibonacci. But remember here, the vertical Fibonacci is the most important. And as I also just recently mentioned, you want to wait for candlestick confirmations or other price action signals to actually take your trade. So now let's jump into the chart here to take a look at if we can find some actual, trading examples. So just right now we are on Google on a daily time frame. As you can see right here, we are on Alphabet Google, and you can see that we are on a daily time frame. So every single candlestick on this chart represents 1 day. And here, let's see if we can find any valid counts. So first of all, this chart is very interesting. The first thing we can clearly notice is that a massive trend started after we broke the previous all-time high. So you can see right here, Google printed an all-time high. And when we broke the all-time high, we really started, a beautiful uptrend. And here, super, super interesting, we can see that this very much looks like an Elliott wave, right? So if we use our path once again here, we can see that we have a wave here, then it pulls back. We have a wave here, it pulls back. We have another wave right here, and then it kind of looks like, we had a correction. So this is all according to, an Elliott Wave Theory count. So you can see we have wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, C, right? And now you might wonder, but okay, so how can we trade this chart? Well, there are multiple ways. One way is to, after the breakout right here, after the massive breakout, you can see that we have a very strong move towards the upside. So one way to trade this is to already right here, notice and expect that we are in a count 1 of a new trend. Because we broke an all-time high, we can actually expect that we are starting a new trend. So if you are a very good trader, you could have spotted this and, for example, tried to trade this pullback right here. So there are many ways to trade a pullback. You see this right here is a beautiful pullback. In chart pattern language, this is pretty much what we call a bull flag. This is when we have an impulsive move, then the price pulls back like this. And what we try to do is to trade the breakout. So you can try to, enter the breakout maybe right here. Or if you are more conservative, you can wait for the price to break above the high right here. So for example, a possible entry point could be could be right there. So that is a possible trade. However, this is, you know, in theory, when we look back on chart examples, it's so much more easier than in real markets. But another example here that I think would have been much more clear to spot is that after this whole count, remember, we have a count, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we are at 5 here, this is a moment where we can start, you know, looking out for the price pulling, you know, we can start look out for a correction, right? Because we have the whole motive wave done. So here we can definitely start to look out for a correction. And remember, one sort of confirmation signal I have been talking about multiple times in this course is to look out for divergence. So let's use the most simple divergence signal, which is the RSI. You know, super simple. Let's open up the normal RSI indicator. We don't need to change any settings or anything like that, even though you can do that to improve your analysis in certain ways. By the way, I talk about that in my RSI course. What you can notice, and what I talked about multiple times in this course, is that here the price prints a higher high, but the RSI prints lower highs, right? So this is what we call a bearish divergence, which indicates a reversal to the downside. So here we are at the top of an Elliott wave count, and we have a divergence. So we have two clear signals happening at the same time. Another thing we can kind of notice is that we do have this sort of wedge looking structure that we can see at the end of waves 3. So this is actually yet another signal that is, talking about that we might see a reversal. So here, as a nail in the coffin, we can look out for a price action signal. And for example, right here, we saw something known as a dark cloud cover candlestick pattern. That is a bearish Japanese candlestick pattern that indicates a reversal to the downside. So with all of these signals, we can imagine that we took a short trade. Remember, a short trade is when we make money when the price is going down, setting our stop loss just above the high. That is a very common way to set stop losses. By the way, if you want to learn more about candlestick patterns, I have a full, 2-hour long course, a full masterclass on candlestick patterns. I highly recommend checking that one out. But using, let's say, a risk to reward ratio of 3, our trade would have looked like this, and we would have locked in some nice profits. So this was just one trade example, but the same principle can go on and on. After this, A, B, C correction, we can of course start looking out for long positions and so on and so on. And here it's very possible, it's very possible that this move right here is the, potentially the wave 1 of a next motive wave. But all right, so here we need to talk about some honest disadvantages and the sort of truth about Elliott Wave Theory. Because yes, Elliott Wave Theory can be very useful. It can help you out in your analysis. As we just recently looked like in TradingView, knowing where you are in the wave count can improve the likelihood of your trading being successful, and as a result make money. But there are still actually many problems with this theory as well. And I think it's very important that we not only talk about the upsides, and that we talk about the downsides as well. And here, one downside is that two analysts, so two different traders, can produce two different valid counts on the same chart. So Elliott Wave Theory is inherently subjective. So two traders can look at the same chart and get different counts, and sometimes, yes, one trader will break many rules, but you can have two traders looking at the same chart, not breaking any rules, and still lead to different counts. And this right here is, of course, a problem with technical analysis in general. Two traders can look at the exact same chart and find different support and resistance levels, and so on as well. So this is more a general problem with technical analysis. Another thing we have to be honest with here is that wave counting in real time is much harder than wave counting in hindsight. So for example, the example I just recently showed you guys on Google is an example that I have picked afterwards because it's a clear example that clearly demonstrates the principle I have been talking about in this course. But when you are in live markets, it gets much harder. So of course, you know, by just watching this course, you probably know more about Elliott Wave Theory, in my opinion, than 99% of traders, but it's still very important to practice in real market. I can also mention here that the theory here has no peer-reviewed scientific backing. It's built on Elliott's own observations. So this is not something that has been studied. And a reason it's hard to study is just because it's very subjective and discretionary. Two traders can look at the same chart and get different counts. So my sort of verdict and recommendation, as I have been already talking about throughout this course, is that it's best used as a roadmap and use it together with other things like Fibonacci, like candlestick patterns, momentum tools like the RSI and MACD, and not as a holy grail. This is my strong recommendation with the Elliott Wave Theory, that yes, it can be useful, but use it together with other frameworks like price action, market structure, and other tools. This video was just a very short clip from our full Elliott Wave trading course right here on YouTube. To access the full course, all you need to do is to click or tap on the screen right here. I hope to see you all over there very, very soon.